Happy Friday, everybody. It's Kate Richburg, and I am live for Free Tip Friday for beadshop.com. Hello. Oh, look, my buddy Pam, my neighbor. Hello from sunny Fresno, Pam. It looks like you've been doing a lot of beading. It's awesome getting ready for that bead retreat. That's so awesome. My goodness, so many people are here, of course. Janice is here over on YouTube, greeting everyone. Just looking at the comments here. What a really great day. Lorraine is here. Happy Friday. Happy Friday indeed. My goodness, we made it. We made it through another week. It was really great to see all of you all for the broadcast on Wednesday. Didn't we have fun with Emily? It was really great. I thought it was awesome. It was so fun to have her, and that daisy chain project was so perfect for the summer. I loved it. Okay, well, let's get right to it. I've got so much to share with you, so much to go over today. So let's just jump right in, shall we? Since it's Friday, let's get this party started. Let me see. Here, we've got our social. So you know where to find us, right on beadshop.com on Instagram, at the Bead Table on Facebook, and you can hit that like, subscribe, and notification button right on YouTube as well, so you don't miss any of that great content we put up. Speaking of great content, Emily's, she teased a little bit about it yesterday, but her really awesome seed bead tutorials, they're coming up soon. So I think you folks are going to love that. And of course, friends, do not forget that everything we are doing today, this project, this really cool Bollywood project with the hemp cords, you can find it right on our website, right here at beadshop.com. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter, because as always, we've got some great stuff coming down the pike. Okay. So let me see. Great. Everybody's here. It's the place to be. It's awesome. So let me just jump in. I'm going to put my camera over here. Hang on. Let me do that. There we are. Okay. And let's talk about my messy project board here, right? I thought I'd also wear a fancy ring today. One of my riveted rings from way back in the day. So it was a fun piece. So you'll be distracted by my big fancy ring today. So let me show you all of this stuff that I've got in front of me, and then we'll have a little bit of chitty chat. But I wanted to get right down to this because it's such a fun project. Here it is, the Rockport piece that I did. We call this the Bollywood bracelet, as you know. And it was really fun to make, and I sent it right off to Janice to finish, and she did a beautiful finishing job for me. So thank you, JP, for that. We featured our hemp cords with this. It was a lot of fun to create a little bit of a different look. Really summery, you know, it's June. So, and we've had the official kickoff to summer. Memorial Day has come and gone so quickly. So it is time for those summer jewelry fashions, right? So this is a great one for summer. It also has a little bit of a fall vibe to it as well. So it's probably, I don't know. I think it's a year-round wear for sure, but I do love it. It's really just I think a pretty piece. Before we get into these, though, I wanted to share with you, we had a few new beads launch. And I'm going to try and incorporate one into the kind of the little add-on that I do today. These are our plumeria beads that we just got in, or well, we've had them, but we got them in new colors. Let me grab, as I walk across here, let me grab my caliper with the newly put in batteries, life changer. Let me tell you a little bit about the size of these, because as you know, friends, you have next week. I have for you the masterclass is coming up, and these would be super fun. Sorry, I'm trying to read. I see comments. Sorry, I'm seeing comments and I'm putting beads out all at the same time. So sorry, friends. I'm super distracted by all of your kind words. So sorry about that. But these are all the plumerias. Okay. So let me measure these for you. I really like them. They're a fun flower motif, but they're not too flowery. Does that make sense? So they're not like flower. They're kind of like, oh, flower to me, right? So the size, let me show you. This size here, it's about 17 millimeters, right? And the hole goes from here to here. Do I have a little, I've got a pin here. A wire. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find the hole. There it is. So you can seat them this way or this way, right? They're great for nearing a really great size. Cindy's saying she likes the geometric look of these flowers. I agree. I really like the way that the petals kind of all come together and make it a nice geometric look. It kind of looks like Cynthia's, you remember from last week, Cynthia's, where do I have it? I have it right here. Her color wheel template, right? Kind of looks like a big plumeria, right? It's kind of cool. So they're really they're a fun bead shape. I like them a lot. These will be great to use for my masterclass project next week. I'm going to be choosing the beads and stuff. We're going to be playing around with those. And Janice is saying that the hole is about 0.4 millimeter with those. Kim is asking, Kim, we've tossed this around, selling a mixed color set, a mix of these. JP, let's put that on our docket because that might be kind of fun. The thing about a mixed color set would be, though, that we would do kind of like we'd get a whole bunch and we'd mix them together and then we'd package them that way. Counting these out to package would make these super expensive, right? But we could make a big pot of flowers, right? Stir them up and put them in a baggie. It'd be really fun. So let's put that, maybe we can get a fresh flower shape and make like a mixed bouquet of flowers. That would be really fun. But I think they're really super charming. And next week when we start the masterclass, and if you missed my broadcast on Wednesday, I talked a little bit about how that's going to go. But what we're going to do is we're going to work through a big fancy necklace month by month. There'll be more info in the newsletter, so check it out. There'll be more details about that. Got a handout for you folks, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be great. But the way I'm going to teach you, our buddy Helen Dietz, who passed away in the early 2000s, you've heard me talk about her before, and it was really great, posted a little bit of info about her from the Northern California Bead Society. So thank you for that. Helen she was this old school beader, really awesome. She would make these little bundles of beads called ambassadors. And I'm going to show you, that's the first thing we're kind of going to string in this masterclass is kind of an ode to her ambassador, which means that you take a bead that's a base bead and you weave just stuff over it. So it becomes like a component almost, right? So stay tuned for that. I think you're going to love it. Today, I'm going to use one of these flowers. I'm going to try and incorporate it into my macrame over here. And it's a good question. So Liza says, is the hemp cord scratchy? at all. And it's not really. The hemp is fairly soft. I wish we had touch-o-vision here for you to feel it, but it's very supple. Can you see that? So it's not a, like maybe you're used to seeing like the hemp cords of old when you do that old macrame with hemp, and it was kind of like fuzzy and stuff, and stiff, like kind of rope-like. This is not. It's nice and supple. It's really cool. So, and Terry's saying, and it's true, hemp softens the more that you wear it. And Janice linked, thanks JP. You can find the link to Helen if you go to the Bead Society of Northern California and you look at Helen Dietz Remembered. It's a great article about Helen, and it talks a little bit about her bead philosophy and stuff. She influenced so many of us West Coast beaders. And so I like to be carrying her torch along, and we're going to start that on Tuesday. Thank you, Kim. This ammonite right here. There it is. I know you like your stones for sure. It's a beautiful piece. I'll take it off now because it's Free Tip Friday. It's so freeform. This is an ammonite piece that I drilled right here through the center. And I drilled it to fit a 16 gauge wire through. And then I riveted it through. This ring is adjustable, and I just kind of hammered a little plate to go underneath it. So it does have movement to it, but that's just the nature of riveting on here. So I love it. It's a class that I used to teach. I should bring this back. It's just a little balled up 16 gauge wire like this. Drilled through the center of this ammonite. Really fun. You can find my drilling class. I did a fun drilling class. It's free. It's on Beaducation. I did it for Lisa quite a few years ago now. But if you're interested in drilling, and I'll have to do maybe a Saturday live to revisit that for you folks. But drilling stones and pieces, if you know how to do it, and I do, it's not that scary or difficult at all. So thank you. I thought I'd wear a Say Something ring today for you all because, why not? So let's talk about, let's get back to beads. Though. But, I feel, as I feel about this. Being an omnicrafter, which is what I like to call myself, we have in our jewelry making closet, I guess, of techniques. We have all kinds of techniques in those, in our jewelry making prowess, right? And so I feel it's important to play around with different techniques. So you have them all at the ready. So you can not only bead, but drill stones and set stones and sew a pouch to put those stones in. And I don't know how to, do mosaic. So you could add something like this to a mosaic, right? So I feel like omnicrafting, as I call that, I think is really, really important. And I'll tell you a little bit at the end of this broadcast about my omnicrafter experience actually that I had last night. It was a really cool thing here that Fresno does, and I'll share it with you because it's cool. I hope that it's going to manifest itself in some different ways. Anyway, I'm vague. I'm being so vague, but I'll share it with you. I also wanted to show you this. This we just launched. It just kind of launched in under the radar. Part of our Cinnabar series. This is resin now. It's like, old school was wood with the Cinnabar coating. These are actually resin. So we've got the fan in this turquoise color. So wouldn't this be cool when we do our master class, or maybe this one, this jade, right? we're going to talk about layering and stacking and I don't know, all kinds of cool stuff. But I just like playing around with the shapes and the color of these. Look at how that's such a charming kind of silhouette. I don't know where that would go, but anyway, I think it's cool. Red. Dawn's saying red, red. Put the red in there. Yep. Look at that. The red. I love the red. Beautiful. And this turquoise keeps this red and green from being too traditionally Christmas, right? So anyway, but we're not doing color today, right? We're not doing color. So I need to put that aside. We're doing this Bollywood. So if you go back and you watch the original broadcast for this Rockport piece, you'll see how I set everything up and stuff. So this is just kind of a little bit of a supplement. I'm not going to go over too much of the details how I did this because it's all in that broadcast. But I was kind of prepping for this broadcast, and I have some of this Greek leather. This is our Greek leather, right? And it's our garnet colored Greek. I loved the color, so I just put it down on the board, right? I attached it with some clips, and we're pulling this down. My mom says, Omnicrafter alert. She's so into paper crafting right now. She is. My mom is also. I mean, where do you think I got this Omnicrafter gene, right? I got it from my mom and my gran. And so she's doing some cool stuff with paper, and thank goodness she's feeling better. So she's back on the crafting road, but of which we're all super thankful for. So I'm going to cut, this is the 1.5 millimeter. I just slapped down two strands of it, and my brain is going a mile a minute. Let me go a little tighter in here. I was going to do macrame, but I may instead do some herringbone. Let me see what it looks like. I've cut two pieces, and you can see I did a double strand. Where is it? This was a double strand of the hemp with the Bollywood. We used two strands versus this is the single strand here. Can you see that? Let me just see, because I've also had braiding on the brain. I've been working on this, right? And so ideas lead to ideas, lead to ideas, right? So this is something I'm going to share with you folks soon. I'm still perfecting it. I don't know if I like how thick this leather is, whatever, but doing a little playing around here. But I've got braiding on the brain. So let me go to the center section, find the center of your cord. And you remember how we do that herringbone, right? We do this in our 5-stitch bracelet. We do it in our herringbone bracelet. And we usually do it with Chinese knotting cord, right? But I think we could also do it with hemp. Can you see that right there? Let me get in a little tighter. Anything you can do with CKC, you can probably do with hemp, right? Yeah, the center cords are doubled. Thank you, Janice, for the clarification. Actually, JP, I think I used, you're right. These center cords are doubled here, but I thought I held two. Maybe I didn't. I thought I did. See, these are two cords in the center here, but I'd also try macrameing with a cord held double. And I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. But you can see the difference here. You get all kinds of different techniques or, what I want to say, effects with how many cords you hold. You get that, right? Okay, let me get back to this. So the herringbone, essentially, it's just like when you herringbone braid your hair, sort of, right? So you've got two cords for the center, right? A left cord and a right cord. And I bring this doubled cord, though usually the cord is single, right? But I just bring this, I put it over this right hand, under the left, and tighten it up. There we go. Now it becomes the left hand cord, so that goes over the left, under the right, and down. Now I switch this up, left hand cord, under, then from the right, and under, from the left, from the left and under, now from the right and under. I still have trouble with my right and my left after all of these years. Do you have that trouble when you're giving like car directions and you have to say this way, meaning left, or that way, meaning right? I can't do right and left super fast. Can you see this? Look at how cool that looks. All right, so now let me tighten. The cool thing about this is with the hemp is it stays where you put it, right? So with Chinese knotting cord, it wants to unfurl a little bit. Yeah, it looks kind of like that fishtail hair braid, kind of that same kind of feeling. I'm going to tighten my cords here just a bit. I'm going to even everything out, because the base has to be really tight when you're doing this, because if it's not, your braid isn't going to be that even. Okay, so let me do this one more time here, and then let's see if I can get that flower in here. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. Zero idea. So maybe I like the looks of this, right? I do, not maybe, I do. I'm having trouble connecting this to my board. Come on, stay where I put you. All right, so now let me zoom out just a little bit. You can see that pretty well, right, without my hands there. Let me zoom out just a little. So let's switch up the stitch and let's go straight into some macrame. Again, I have no idea if this is going to work, but let's do this macrame with this double strand. Plus, I have no idea how I'd want to finish this off, right? So I don't know. This may be amazing or it may be horrible. Who knows? You never quite know, but at least it'll give you some ideas. This is an ornery little guy today. Come on. Maybe if I see, it's just giving me some sass. I don't know why. Come on now. Let's get in there. Maybe I'll do it like this, just for now. There we go. All right. So let me do another one. Oh, see, now this side came out. Oh, for Pete's sake. Come on. I'm evidently not the boss of my clips today. That's what happens. Sometimes your brain gets working, at least mine does, gets working so fast. So I can't keep up. So see how these beads have ridges in them, right? So let me see if I could That doesn't like staying there. That's a no. Let's try this. These holes are kind of small for this hemp cord. And they're kind of spongy for this size. Hang on. Hold the phone. CKC maybe to the rescue. I just grabbed whatever this was, regular, off the wall. I have no idea even what color this is. I think this is maybe steel. Don't we have a color called steel, JP? Maybe. It's kind of a blue-gray. I love it. I need something to go through this hole. So here's this. There we go. And yeah, okay. There we are. All right. I got this now. Let me get a needle. Why Fridays are like Adventure Time Friday for me, right? Oh, let me see if I have a wire needle here. There's one way at the bottom of this box. Here we go. Let me see if I can get it. But you know, you got to work these out. This is one of our Bead needles. Really nice one. That's nice and heavy. You could also use a big eye for this. So let me put this thread in like this. This, and I'm going to go under this hemp. If I had been thinking, right, so now I've kind of worked out this design idea, I might put this down first, right, and then add this in. But see, look how I stitched that under this. Now, how do I get this cord from here to here? That's a great question. Let me clamp this down. Give it some thought. So I could just simply run this along, which would work. I could macrame underneath and this could sit on the macrame. I could bead it, put some beads around the side. Might make this flower sit weird. I don't know. Let me move this a little bit to the side and do a few of these underneath. I think I like the idea of putting this on top. And since I'm doing this double, I don't know if the double strands are exactly what I'd do here, but I like the herringbone coming into this, so I'm just going to go with it. Plus, how else are we going to figure out if it works or not, right? So let's see, I passed it under this section here. Now I'm doing this section where it'll sit on top. So maybe 4. Like that. Now this goes on top. Oh, I got this. Shoot. I got that. I'm going to rerun it. See how this is coming out of that, the side here of the macrame. So it's making this cord sit funny. So I'm going to take it out because I don't like how that's sitting, and I'm going to rerun the cord underneath because it'll throw everything off here. And I haven't glued or anything yet, right? This is just the prototype. See how it's coming out here? I want it to come out right there. My mom's saying, just make a dangle. Come on, Ma, that's no fun. That's too easy. So I'm going to run it here. right there. And I'm running it right in between. So it's coming in between this these two strands of leather. I'm looking at everyone's suggestions as well. Kim is saying do half hitches along each strand or each leg. That's a really good idea as well. Okay. Jesse's saying she'd use Chinese knotting cord or wax linen. 100% you could, right? You don't have to use the hemp. But this is kind of all about that Bollywood with the hemp. So that's what I'm focusing on here. But wax linen would look great. CKC, also great. So whatever floats your bead boat on this one. Okay. But I'm going to use the hemp. I need to make this little platform wide enough for this bead to sit on. Let's see how it's looking. I think maybe one more. Make sure I'm not catching any threads that I don't want. Okay, so see what we've got there? I've got my thread going underneath there, my flowers on it. I've kind of clamped it here so it's stable. So now I'm going to unclamp. I'm going to slide this up. This is a little slidey right here, okay, which is worrisome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it. Now that I know that we're in good shape, what I might also do is come back here and knot it or something. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my GS Hypo. I'm going to get that needle in there of the Hypo cement. I'm going to extrude some glue. I can see that glue's coming. I'm going to slide this down just a bit. Oh, wouldn't you know, when I don't use my, see, that's why I use a baggie. Ugh, I hate glue on my board. There we go. I didn't put the baggie down. Everyone always laughs at me about the baggie, but there we go. A little bit of glue. Gosh, this is, you're not alone. The GS Hypo doesn't mind me either. I'm searching for a napkin. Here we go. Take off all of the extra glue. I love this GS, but it is messy, right? Get some glue in there. There we go. Okay. Then let me get the lid back on here. Got to get into my focal range. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to squeeze. I know it's, don't squeeze it. Don't look at GS Hypo Cement askance. So there we go. Lid's back on. And make sure, folks, that you wipe all of the extra glue off before you put that lid on. All right. So let me slide this up. And I'm going to come in at the bottom here, and I'm going to continue my my macrame. I'm going to add this thread to what I've clamped down here so it's nice and tight. I start on that end, clamp it here and here. I don't want to pull too hard because I need to let this glue dry. Okay, there we go. I just need to get this tied down. There we go. Now I can kind of tighten. I also want this thread that I'm going to macrame over. I want it to sit in the center channel right here. So let me get it in that center channel. I'm going to bring this clip back in to clip it nicely here, and then clip it right there. So now let me add a little more glue. Again, let's say don't squeeze too hard, just let it. There we go. Yeah, see, I think this will be much sturdier. Oh, get my baggie. If I just add the glue here, see that? And then we get the lid back on. Then I'll macrame over the top of that. My mom's asking, put a drop of glue under the bead. I could. The thing is that this glue, it's sturdy, but I think if this were a bracelet or whatever, it might get knocked around a bit. The glue may or may not hold. You certainly could add a drop of glue and put this on. It wouldn't hurt. But I'm trying to keep the bead glue free for whatever reason. See, there we go. And I'm knotting right over that glued area. So I'll keep going. How many? I'm just going to make sure it just visually it looks right. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe one more. Does that look even to you? That looks even, right? Okay, so now I'm going to get my thread burner and I'm going to burn away those threads. I changed all of the batteries in my calipers. I need to change all the batteries in my thread burners as well. So here's this. See how I put it in the center of this? Now I hit the button so it heats, and then I just gently pull it through. Don't pull until the tip of this burner heats up, because if you pull before it heats, you're going to pull the tip out of your thread burner. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and thread this one out, or thread burn this out. And I probably would keep this, let the glue kind of sit and stuff beforehand, but this will be fine. I'm not going to screw around with it too much right here. So now let's finish up with the herringbone. Okay, so we come in and we're just going to go straight into that herringbone. Get these as kind of as tight or as flat as you can, and let's just keep going. Whoops, this way. Not too bad for a completely off the cuff, something I made up spur of the moment. Not terrible, right? And the transition here between the herringbone and the macrame, it's not awkward. I think it looks pretty nice. You could add something if you wanted some metal. You could add something like this crimp, right? Or something to close it. Sue is saying, yeah, smart. If you leave the thread in, you could add another plumeria. 100% you could, right? And then you could, Janice is saying, just take the seal-on along with your leather, put it in the next to one of the strands, just carry that thread along so you could put more plumeria in it, right? This is just my, so learn from my, my test run here, and you can improve on it. I know that you will. Let's get this one here. Let's make it look kind of even. Then I need to figure out how I'm going to finish this off, because usually when we're doing this on a bracelet, we butt some macrame up next to this, and that's how we close it off. So maybe that's what I'll do, and I'll come back here and macrame. Let's see, it's almost done. Just kind of push that. It's a little bit of a challenge doing this herringbone with a 2-strand, but not terrible. Just when you bring it over, make sure those 2 strands are laying flat next to each other. That's helpful. And we'll do this one. So there we go. Okay, so that looks like it's about the same length, right? Okay, let me clamp it here. Let me take a moment. Whew. Let me zoom out just a bit. There we are. Let me take a drink of water. Whew. Okay. So yeah, please, Janice just asked, can we get some more thumbs up on this view? We'd love it. So those social shares, those thumbs up, the more engagement we have, folks, that's how it is nowadays with social. The more audience engagement you have, the higher it goes up in the quote unquote algorithms, right? So we really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and finish this off. So I'm going to clip it on the board down here. It's clipped. You can see right there. All right. So I'm just going to bring these kind of along and underneath, and I'm only going to use a single strand this time. I am going to macrame it, and to balance it out, I'm going to macrame again on the other one here. Okay, so let me just kind of pull those tight. Let me see if I can kind of capture it. I could add a little bit of glue here, I guess. Let me do that just a little. Hear the tired part of my voice when I talked about that, because I had to take the lid off and put the lid back on, but there we go. Not too bad. Get that out of the way, put it back on. All right. Let's get this center cord, and let's just macrame it like we mean it. So I'm going to go under here. I'm going to catch that herringbone under the macrame. I want to capture it, and then I'm going to kind of cut the tails off. So see here how I've grabbed it under. Oh, I could finish it off with a silk wrap. Karen, that's actually, thank you. Back it up. Silk wrap it. Yes. That's exactly what I want to do. Smart. Let's change course. Silk wrapping, as you know, fast, easy, sturdy. Just what I wanted. And I didn't want the repeat of that macrame motif. You were reading my mind. Perfect solution. Put that on there, and I can start that silk wrap a little further back right here, so the transition is super clean. In our skill builders, you know I silk wrap all the time, but in our skill builders, you'll see our silk wrapping technique that you can follow along with. There we go. I make it nice and a nice length, not too long, right? Maybe just a little bit more. I think what I'm going to do here, so I don't see the ends, I'm going to clip these off and silk wrap over the tails so I don't see that silk wrap, or I don't see these ends coming out of my silk wrap. There we go. Keep going. See that? So I can keep wrapping, and those tails will wrap right underneath here. There we go. That looks right. This also would be good. You could end it with a transition. 100%. You could crimp this transition right there. It would look good in the middle too, right there. But you folks know all the skills. You know, this is when you kind of make this your own. So let's pull this underneath. Get that nice and tight in there. Pull on this side so that the connection for that silk wrap is right underneath here. Now I'm going to go ahead and clip away this extra cord here and here. Let's take a look. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. Let me silk wrap that side so it's even. This has kind of a little bit of a boho quality to it, right? But it's also kind of elevated because I used the leather, right? So I don't know. It's just a fun little thing for summer, not too fancy pants, but sometimes you just need a simple little bracelet to wear, right? So I'm going to keep going. Obviously, there's nothing I have to catch on this side because this is the side that I started the herringbone with. So it's just there to just balance everything out visually. You do want to make sure, though, that your leather is flat as you're wrapping. You don't want to twist so you have lumps or bumps underneath the silk wrap. Visually, that's about the same. This way here. Let's tighten it up. Pull it underneath. Silk wrapping with hemp is a little bit more of a challenge because it doesn't want to slide as well. So you kind of have to coax it underneath there. There we go. Be gentle with it. If it breaks, then it breaks and you just have to redo it. But the hemp is pretty strong. You could also add just a touch of glue if you wanted. But I'm going to pull this tight. There we go. Okay. Now, closing, you ask. Kate, how are we going to finish this? No clue. How's that for an answer? All right, so here's this. Pull this up. I have this longhorn button. We used it in one of our kits. If we don't have this on the website yet, we will, because we love this button. It's just the one that I have here. So, but find a button that you love, that you like. Let me go ahead and size this on me. So it needs to be about like this. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do, since this is a double strand, I'm thinking. Where's my blue? Where's my Ceylon? Here, let me get the Ceylon. It kind of goes. I wanted this to be about right here, the stopper of the button, right? So silk wrapping to the rescue. Just stick with me on this. Hang in there. Again, I could put a transition or I could crimp, but I want to save that for the other side, I think. So let me just silk wrap a little stopper right here. Go through my loop. You know, there's more than one way to do this, 100%. Pull that under. There we go. Tighten it up. Nice and tight. That's not going anywhere. I could also thread burn this. I'm kind of hacking this with some, because my snips are across the room. I don't want to stop, but I think I'll thread burn this side. These scissors are, it's not very good bead practice there. And see that white part is all shaggy hanging outside there. There we go. That's better. Nice and clean. Just because you're hurrying does not mean that you should do shoddy work, right? So here's the button. Let's see if I can get both of these strands through the shank of the button. It would be awesome if I could. Yeah, good. This is 0.5. If they wouldn't go through both, I'd just carry one underneath and carry it along. Right? So this, what I will do, I'm not sure if I'm going to just tie a knot here and let this hang out or what I'm going to do yet. I could have just looped this around and macrameed over that, but it's a little thick. So I'm going to just leave this for a second. Okay. So on this side, what I'm going to do is, where's that transition bead? I'm going to get my transition. I'm going to make sure that my leather isn't twisted. Let me put this around my wrist. I'll give you a finished measurement too, just so you know what this is. This needs to come to about right there. So you can see I was a little off, right? This is a little far up. This is a little far down. If I wanted this to be completely even, I wonder if I can slide that. I don't think so. This is on there. What I might do is I could just re-silk that, wrap this down there. No, it's not. Oh, yeah. There. Ooh, okay, that's better. That looks good. And this, I'm going to come in and I'm going to flatten this down, I think, because I'm going to then tie a knot right here, and that's going to be the loop. Okay. Let me get what I like to use to crimp these. It's our parallel pliers. I also can use our nylon jawed plier, but I like this parallel plier a lot. So I'm just going to come in, squeeze it down, flip it. See how these parallel pliers, see the action on those? I'm really going to get in there and flatten it now. And flip it. Get it flat on the end. That's not going anywhere. It's nice and tight. And I'm going to tie a knot here. You could crimp, you could macrame, you could silk wrap. There's a million ways to close this off. But I thought I'd use this hardware that was just kind of sitting here. Let me see if I can get this knot tied. Before I completely tighten it, I want to make sure that my button's going to fit. See that there? Tighten that up. Give the leather a little bit of an angle cut. Like that. This side. You know, I'm not sure. So I wonder if these knots are going to get in the way of each other. I'm going to try it. I'm sure there's a better way to close this off, but I don't know. I need to let it simmer for a minute. Let me see how that looks. This comes around. Oh, and you know, the knots are on the opposite side, so I don't not like it. So let me just finish that so the knot's not funny looking. Let me make sure this leather is flat as it comes around, nice and clean. Tighten it up. There we go. See how it looks on the back? That's not bad. These are the chain nose parallel. Janice is asking if I put some glue in the center of these knots. You could, but this knot, especially since I'm leaving some tails on here, they're not going to come apart. But you could add a little GS hypo in there if you were so inclined to do so. Look at that closure. That's not bad. I like those little tails out there. If you don't like the tails, then silk wrap or, you know, flip the leather back through. But I think it's kind of nice. Yeah, and I could silk wrap again here on the end, but I don't mind it. So let's see if how this closure looks, how it works. Let's see if I can put this on with just one hand. So this comes through. Yep, good. So it's sitting there. There's plenty of room here. There's enough movement. I can get my finger just underneath. And you can see, I'll take this off, but let me stack it with some of these others. Let me take off my ring so nothing catches. So here are all of my other Bollywood with my hemp. I won't take the time to close them because, see, this one's braided. I braided the ends here on this one. Stack that one over there. This one's nice. It has a lot of the different beads here. I like the single flower too. I think it adds kind of just a nice little extra. So see, there's my stack. Look at that. I'm ready. I'm ready for summer with that. I like it. Let me take all of these off and let me measure this one for you. Okay? So you can see what this is all about. This again is that Greek leather, I think, in garnet. Here it is. It's kind of, I like the look of it. Let me get my tape measure and measure this door to door. So the macramé, or this portion here, is about 4 inches, 4 and change, just a little bit more. From the shank of the button to the middle of the loop where the length would sit is about 7 inches, which works because my wrist is about 6.5, right? I also made, let me show you this. So Cynthia, you know, last week we did our, and they're coming back in, our clasps, our poppy clasps. She gifted me two that she made especially for me, which I thought were so nice. This one, instead of in pewter, this is sterling. Look at how precious that is. So nice. She also knows how much I love bronze, so she casted one for me in bronze. This is how they do the masters. They do the wax in bronze, and then they use the bronze as the master for casting them. So what I did with this is one of my Kate knots that I do, and I just attached onto here, did a knot, did this little mushroom knot that I do, and then I came back in and I just silk wrapped it down here. And I've been wearing this. I haven't taken it off. And it stretches a little bit to put it on. I've been wearing it in the shower. So you can see the leather is already starting to get a little, you know, faded and stuff, but who cares? It's a summer bracelet. But look at how cool this looks with the poppy clasp. You could get your poppy clasp and put it on. The poppy clasps will be back. We have a ton on order, so don't worry. Put yourself on the notification list. They should be here soon, so we really appreciate your patience on those. See, it's stretching out a little bit, but I wear it with my watch and stuff. It would be easy to restring when I want it to. So, so it's just fun to kind of wear right now. Okay. But this, I think, is a pretty cool addition to the stack. Let's see. Yeah. So there you go with the plumeria. So, whew, all right. Fun times. Let me put that up there. There we go. Oh, I don't know. It took a lot of my brain power today. I think I'm still recovering from Cynthia and Azalea's visit. We had so much fun and we came up with so many great ideas. Let me do this. There we go. That my brain is working overtime, right? There we go. That's nice. Let me put that right there. There we go. The concert was great. Thanks for asking, Sandy. We went to the Cure concert up in the San Francisco Bay Area. We had fun. Azalea just loved it so much. She was standing there like this the whole time. Nothing like a concert when you're 18. So fun. So, yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. What else is coming up? So this next week, I've got the masterclass coming up. Oh, there's Cynthia's watching. There's my friend. There's my friend. We've got some really cool flower links. Thank you, Kim, for saying that. We've got some new ones coming up. I've got them sitting right here. I gave you a peek of those. Let me see. I know they're sitting here because I was just looking at them. Hang on. Here they are. Let me show you these. We have the poppy link. We have a lot of the flower links already in our shop, but let me show you. Let me highlight this here. We've got this iris link coming. We've got this poppy link. We've got this one. Remember, Cynthia painted that one. We've got the firefly, or the dragonfly rather. Look how beautiful it is. Two-sided, the outside and the underside. Look at its little feet. And then last but not least, we've got a leaping bunny. Those are going to be so nice. And again, this clasp, though not in sterling, because this one's mine, but it'll be back in. Okay. Yeah, this was a piece that Janice, we have many iterations of this. We have the Bollywood necklaces. This was a Janice brainchild back in the day. So it's really fun and you can take a look at all of the different types of Bollywood that we carry. So, but look at how great it is. Janice is saying that all of our regular stock is coming back in. Greg's working double time to get it done, and we really, really appreciate that. We love supporting small businesses. We're all small artists here, right? We may look like a big company from the outside, but from the inside, we're teeny. So we always appreciate your grace for us as we catch up on things and post things. And, when you're looking at, we were joking about it yesterday. We had a social media meeting. And Drea and I were like, you're looking at the social media team right here. So mostly Drea, but it's fun. So again, we really, really appreciate your support and your understanding that sometimes it takes just a little bit longer because we're small businesses, not big conglomerations. So Cynthia and I and Azalea also had a couple of really great meetings where we're bringing some collabs. Our first one is going to be in September, and you folks aren't even going to it's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it. So you haven't seen the last of Cynthia and Azalea for beadshop.com. We're really, really grateful. Let me put these plumerias right in here too. I gave Azalea some of the plumerias. She was helping me send them to our fulfillment center, and she's all, "Ooh, I love these." I'm all, "Well, then I'm paying you in beads." So, but all hands on deck. When it's a family business, even if it's not your blood family, it's your bead family. Cynthia has said she's already started carving. Cynthia, I can't wait. Maybe we can schedule you maybe next month just to check in. We had on our takeover day, Cynthia and I took all of your suggestions for different clasps and different things and stuff. So maybe we'll have a little catch up. It'll be fun. I also wanted to share again next week. Again, that masterclass, stay tuned to your newsletters for that. I said that I had this really great kind of Omnicrafter experience last night. So I'm going to tell you about this very, very briefly, and I'll talk about it a little bit more maybe next week, because it all kind of ties in. Last night was First Thursday here in Fresno, and all of the artists, all of the art venues and stuff kind of get together and have special things that they do, and special exhibits and stuff. It's first Thursday of every month here in Fresno, and I think a lot of different towns may do kind of a first week walk or something like that, right? But it's cool. And I've lived here, it'll be 2 years in October, and I still haven't gone to a First Thursday art hop is what they call it. And so Chris and I went last night, and we went to Sorensen Studios, which is here in Fresno, in the big industrial area. It's been here forever. Under one roof, a bunch of different artists, glass and paint and metal, and there's a sign painter painting old school signs, fabric artists, all kinds of cool stuff. So it really cemented and brought home, having like a bunch of different crafts under one roof. It was really invigorating, and hopefully there'll be more from Sorensen Studios to come. You never know. You never know. Studio space. You never know. So anyway, it was fun. So Sorensen Studios, I think you can find them. Yes, Janice found them right on Facebook. But it was really cool and just kind of old school. It's an old building. Chris Sorensen was the man who founded it. He's in his 90s now. It's this kind of old school. It has such an old school vibe. It's kind of grungy and cool, and I don't know. It was awesome. I loved it. So it was kind of helped fill my creative well. So anyway, that's what's shaken here, folks. I'll see you next week on Wednesday for the first installment of my masterclass. More info on in the newsletter on that. Have a great, creative, safe, fun convivial weekend. And I'll see you all on Wednesday for the masterclass. Oh, and real quick, Jill is asking, when are the earring kits coming? They're coming soon. We have them on the schedule. I think it's going to be the second Saturday of the month, of every month. Okay, so they're there. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Couldn't do this without you. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.